Time value of money. People often have limited resources to pursue an investment activity, to undertake a business, or to buy a car or house. One of the factors that must be weighed when making sound financial decisions is the time value of money, or what we call TVM in finance. An important TVM rule states that the dollar amounts from different time periods should never be compared. Rather, the amounts should be compared only when they are stated in dollar amounts at the same point in time. In general, this concept refers to the reality that under normal inflation conditions, money today is worth more than the same amount in the future. And there are three reasons why a cash flow in the future is worth less than a similar cash flow today. One is that individuals prefer present consumption to future consumption. People would have to be offered more in the future to give up present consumption. Conversely, when the preference for current consumption is weaker, individuals will settle for much less in terms of future consumption and by extension, a low real rate of return or discount rate. Two, when there is monetary inflation, the value of currency decreases over time. Three, a promised cash flow might not be delivered for a number of reasons, and any uncertainty or risk associated with the cash flow in the future reduces the value of that cash flow. Key factors to understanding the time value of money. When you do financial planning, financial decisions can be only made about the future, which cannot be known with certainty. In evaluating alternatives for financial decisions, it always involves speculation both the kind of result and the value of the result that will occur. It also requires understanding and measuring risks or uncertainties that time presents and opportunities and opportunity costs that time creates. These are the key factors to consider in the time value of money concept. One is liquidity has value because it enables choice. Two is time creates distance or delay in liquidity. Three is distance or delay creates risk and opportunity cost. Four is time affects value by creating distance, risk, and opportunity cost. And five, time discounts value. Calculating the relationship of time and value. More than doing the financial calculation, what is more important is understanding of the relationships between time, risk, opportunity cost, and value. To relate a present or liquid value to the future value, you will need to know what the present value is or the future value will be, when the future value will be, as well as the rate at which time affects value. That is the cost per time period or the magnitude effect of time on value. In the equation, FV equals PV times 1 plus R raised to the T, where FV is the future value, PV is the present value, R is a discount rate, and T is the period of time. It yields the following valuable insights. The more time creates distance from liquidity, the more time affects value. The greater the rate at which time affects value, or the greater the opportunity cost and risk, the more time affects value. The closer the liquidity, the less time affects value, and the less the opportunity cost or risk, the less value is affected. Therefore, to maximize value, it is best to get paid sooner or you get to pay later. Timelines. It would be easier to solve for time value of money problems if a timeline is drawn, since it shows both the timing and the amount of each cash flow in a stream. In this diagram, you're going to see the following. Cash flows, or CF, can either be positive, as in cash inflows, or negative, as in cash outflows. CF sub O refers to cash flow today, which is in present value terms and does not need to be adjusted for time value. CF sub N refers to cash flow at the end of one period or the beginning of another period. Discount rate, I percentage, is specified for each period in the timeline and may be different for each period. Period of time refers to the portion of the timeline between 0 and 1, which is the first year, 1 to 2, which is the second year, and 2 to 3, which is the third year. A point in time refers to a cash flow 1, whereby on that point, it occurs at the end of period 1. Time sub O is what you call time today, and time sub N is the end of one period, as in a year, a month, a quarter, among others, if not the beginning of another period. Timeline for cash flows at the end of each period. It means that on the period 1, you're going to see there that you're already getting a cash flow, but that refers to the cash flow from 0 to 1. For period 2, you see that you get a cash flow, but that covers the period from 1 to 2. And on the third year, you have another cash flow, and that covers the cash flow received from 2 to 3. On the other hand, timeline for cash flows at the start of each period is from time today to 1, you're right away getting the cash flow now. And at time 1, you're going to get your second cash flow, which covers the cash flow from 1 to 2. And the third cash flow you're going to receive on time 2 refers to the period that you're going to receive from 2 to 3. And therefore, on the third year, your cash flows is the fourth cash flow you're receiving for the third to the fourth year. Drawing the timelines. One example is if you're going to receive 100 pesos lump sum due in 2 years, lump sum refers to receiving the entire amount. Therefore, you're going to draw the timeline as 0, which is time today, a year from now, 2 years from now. And on the second year, you're expecting to receive the entire 100 pesos. The second example refers to a 3-year, 100 peso ordinary annuity. Ordinary annuity refers to receiving equal amounts for every year that you have. So you're going to draw the timeline as 0, time today, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and each of those years you'll be receiving 100 pesos. On the first year, another 100 pesos at the second year, and another 100 pesos on the third year. A third example has to do with uneven cash flow streams. You have what you call the CF sub O, which is the cash flow that you'll be having today happens to be a negative 50. So that means that's the what you're going to be investing. So it's an outflow. And a year from now, you'll get a cash flow at 100. So it's written down here. 2 years from now, you'll be receiving a 75 cash flow, which is here. And finally, on the third year, you'll be receiving a 50, which is a cash inflow. So these 3 areas, 100, 75, and 50 are all inflows, whereas the 50 times 0 is an outflow.